Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another garden chat. I'm Allison with Green Goddess Plants and Seeds, and welcome to a Wednesday morning out here at the farm. Some interesting things happening. We pulled out the zucchini plants. We just could not keep up with them, so we just made the executive decision to just pull most of them out because we were just inundated with zucchini and nobody wanted them. So they weren't selling at the market, nobody else seemed to want them, so we just made that decision to do one last harvest, one last picking for ourselves, and then we just decided to pull them out. Oh, this is Weasley. He's one of our garden cats. He's an outdoor kitty, but he's very lovely and friendly. And I've also got another cat out here with me too. There's Shits. They like to be out here in the garden with us. It's crazy how the summer has changed, even just in the last couple of weeks. It's been, most of the summer was very dry, very hot and very dry. And on my drive out this time, I noticed that there was more and more trees along the roadside that were starting to turn, this is super early for that, but the trees are probably stressed due to the lack of moisture. But I was actually in the city for a few days. I'm actually looking after a friend's cat while she's away. So I just drove out for one night to bring some stuff to Glenn and to help him out a little bit. And it's surprising how much you notice things change when you're away. And then when you come back, it's like, holy crap. It's just amazing. Like, the tomatoes are still taking their sweet time. They are slowly, finally starting to ripen, more and more of them. But the most amazing thing right now in the garden are the pumpkins. Holy crap. They are ripening. I swear they're ripening faster than the tomatoes are. Like there's some out here that are completely and totally ripe. So it's like, do we pick them? Do we leave them? So I think what I might do is pick a couple of pie pumpkins just to send to the market on Friday with Glenn. And that way he can kind of show off to the other gardeners, hey, we got pumpkins. So this spot is where the zucchini were. And then over here, this is where the potatoes were. And there's actually still 2 rows of potatoes, which I think we're going to try and keep for ourselves. But I think our plan for one of these spaces is to maybe put in 2 or 3 rows of radishes, so that we can have a late crop of radishes coming in. But everything else is just doing fantastic. I know Glenn picked 200 pounds of cucumbers on Monday. So I drove out yesterday and gave him a hand washing and bagging them all. So they're they're producing far better than what we had imagined. And like I said earlier, like the market garden thing, this is an experiment for us this year. And so we're probably not as organized as we need to be, but at least, it gives us a starting point and we can plan better from this point going forward. But the pumpkins or squash are just out of this world, going crazy. But there is some butternuts finally coming. They started blooming a month after everything else. But they're setting fruit nicely, which is good. Probably because we have lots of bees out here, because then it has honey. And these are some of the pumpkins that are starting to ripen. And some of them are huge. They're absolutely ginormous. Like there's one in here that I didn't even notice until it started ripening, and that's almost completely ripe. Like they're at least 2 to 3 weeks early. And like I mentioned before, they're ripening faster than the tomatoes. Like this is that pair of pie pumpkins that were the first to start ripening. So these ones I think I might pick and leave them in the greenhouse for a few days, and then Glenn can take them on Friday and see if there's any takers for pumpkins, mid-August pumpkins. But like they're just amazingly prolific. And I think with with pumpkins and with the zucchini, they do better if you plant. You have to plant more than just 1 or 2 plants. I think they do better if you have at least 4. Now, of course, we had some of these. We had at least a dozen. So they're all doing very well, amazingly well, surprisingly well, better than we had expected. So I don't know. It's just so incredibly prolific. Like, we've got this sea of pumpkin vines out here. And over here, this one here, this is the blue doll pumpkin, and it is actually finally starting to develop that bluish gray color to the skin, so that's nice to see. And then we do have a few others. We've got the Canada crookneck, which is developing nicely, and we came out last night for a walk through the garden, and of course Glenn was just stunned at the number of spaghetti squash that are out here and how big they are. So I don't think he really expected them to get that big. Well, mind you, I don't think I expected them to be that prolific either. So, but the tomatoes, most of them are still green, but there are some that are finally starting to ripen. There's more and more cherries. There's a couple of Heinz 1439s. I saw a couple of carbons out here starting to turn. They weren't very dark, but they were starting to turn red at least. And then there's like a whole bunch of Centennial rockets here that need to be picked. So that'll be a job for me today before I head back into the city. So yeah, it's just, the garden's just been amazing this year. Our attempts at doing a market garden have been quite successful. We've kind of been trying to make some notes all along about the things that we need to do and what needs to be changed, what needs to be done. Some of the timing of some things, because, really early in the season, everybody wanted zucchini because nobody had it. And we were, I think, the first ones at the market to have it. And then, in July, everybody wants cucumbers. Like, the demand was just out of this world for cucumbers. So we could probably get away with planting a few more cucumbers. And of course now, no one wants zucchini because you've got it in their own gardens now. But right now the demand is for things like carrots and beets and potatoes. And of course we didn't plant carrots or beets. We didn't plant beets for the market. We planted beets for ourselves, but not for the market. So those are some things that we need to keep in mind for next year as we plan, make our plans for next year's market garden. So, but yeah, I was only out here for the one night. Like I said, I'm looking after a friend's cat while she's away, and so I'll head back into the city late this afternoon, and then I'll probably be back out again for the weekend for the Saturday market. So anyway, I hope you're having a great Wednesday, a great midweek. Hope your week is going well. And we'll be talking to you very soon, probably on the weekend. So until next time, take care.